you.
Sam, Kenny said yesterday that he thinks your early down rhythm passing is kind of one of the areas where he's seen the most growth from you. Do you agree with that? And if so, why?
Yeah, it was just a big emphasis coming into the year, especially starting, even back in spring ball. So it was really just, understanding that I got to fix up my footwork, and, I've just kind of cleaned that up a lot. And then just trust within the receivers, them seeing the looks, understanding, where I want them. So, and then me just putting the ball there, and then really trusting it and seeing it get completed. So that's been a big emphasis, and I've been proud of, the guys on the team really stepping up in that aspect.
Is it tough? How is it to be finally in game week and get ready to play Saturday?
Yes, it's a lot more fun, not playing X and all the guys in the back end. So they've seen our stuff a million times, so it's going to be a lot of fun going up against a different opponent. And, in the film room, it's pretty refreshing to see a different defense, different game plan rather than the same stuff I see every week.
How different is it confidence level-wise in the first game this year as opposed to last year?
Yeah, night and day. I just say it's the comfortability of knowing what I'm actually stepping into, knowing what it takes to win a game, knowing what it takes to win, multiple games and be a successful team overall. So having 1 year under my belt, it's made all the difference, and I'm excited to go see what we can do.
How do you feel like practice went today?
Practice today, it was really good. We got to clean up a couple stuff. Guys were tired. We were working. A couple guys are sick right now, so just getting back into the flow of things, of what a season really looks like, coming off of fall camp, But overall, I thought we did a pretty good job.
Sam, how about the difference in game one, week one, the excitement in the community compared to this time last year?
Yeah. Honestly, I don't even remember, there being much excitement last year in the community going into game one. So, it's night and day. You see posts and all this stuff on the media. It's really cool to see, just the activation of the Valley, and hopefully throughout the season, we can continue to just bring more and more people into the process. Yeah, and that comes with success. So, I'm first of all really proud of the team for doing that so that we're able to be in this opportunity. And then secondly, proud of the people, who bought into the organization, bought into Coach Dillingham, us, our culture, and everything to do with that. And it's, it's changed just who wants to be here, and just the overall community impact and everybody bringing it in. It's really cool to see.
When you come into a game like this, favored by more than 4 touchdowns, how do you avoid this from being a trap game? Just getting started?
I think that's one thing that we do really well. We don't really focus on week 2, 3, 4, 5. It's really just the week at hand, That's one thing that I learned that we did really well last year, so I kind of tried to implement that, and I view every single team the exact same. Going to the game plan, obviously there's different things per team, but I go into the week, prepare the exact same, take care of my body the exact same, and go about my process, because why would I ever change it?
As a leader, how do you make sure that your teammates kind of have that same approach as well?
I just say it's out on the field, them seeing how I carry myself. In the film room, just my demeanor, my presence, being really demanding, but at the same time lenient in some aspects, so I don't come off as a dictator, things like that. But, my team feels the presence, and honestly, it's just the whole team. Coach Dillingham does a great job. Coach Arroyo, locked and loaded every single day. So it really stems from the upper men.
You talked about it's refreshing to see a different defense on film. So what are you seeing this week on film?
Yeah, a lot of different fronts. They do a good job. Play some man, a lot of 4 different coverages. I'm not going to go into our game plan and stuff like that, but they do a lot with the front, so we got a good game plan, and I'm excited to see us execute.
Do you feel like there's a long ways to go between now and game day still in terms of preparations, or is a lot of it already kind of in there?
No, I like to take as much time as I can. I got my same process every single week. First and second down, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Now I'm going to start going into third down red zone stuff. And every single week it's just getting the process down, getting everything dialed in, and feeling the most comfortable that I am with the game plan and getting the team along with me.
How do you take us through that process? Just how often do you sit by yourself, push yourself? Do you have certain times during the week go over things?
Yeah, last week I looked at my season, and I really had the same life for about 22 weeks. Same process, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. My nap times were pretty laid out when I went to bed when I did my recovery. So I got that all pretty dialed in, and I'm pretty much doing the same thing as last year, a couple adjustments. But, I'm just ready to dial in and, get my schedule back to that.
Kenny was talking about yesterday how, with the NIL partnerships that you've been able to gain this offseason, you feel that's important, the position you're in. But your main focus is on football and ball, I guess. How have you kind of navigated those things, kind of the privilege of those opportunities and partnerships and also focusing on what that guy handles.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. At first, it was tough. You know, media coverage, rankings, this, that, and the third. You're supposed to be this. Team's supposed to have this success. So you gotta, you know, figure out who you are as an individual and what you really do it for, because you can get lost in that. And I'm not saying I did, but it definitely affected me. And you know, now throughout the last month, it's completely changed. Fall camp was a really good reset for me, just to be able to do that. But you know, it definitely starts to weigh in on some people. But you know, at the end of the day, you got to realize why you're doing this in the first place, who you're doing it for. Come to the facility every single day, and you know, I'm walking in, seeing my guys, JT, Skrilla, you know, everybody, and you realize that's who you do it for. And also the game, you know, you're here because of what you love, the situation that you put yourself in. So it's really, you know, leaning back on your roots.
Who do you want to use here to elevate it platform forward? How do you want that to be represented?
Yeah, I'm starting to do stuff with this foundation called the Emma Foundation. You know, it's stem cell for people with disabilities. You know, I've seen success in terms of that for myself and people. You know, it's a pretty cool story. I'd encourage people to go look into that. And just my platform overall, just affecting, you know, kids. You know, I remember when I was a kid, just to say what's up to a player who was up there ranked like that or something was pretty special. Giving them fist bumps, spending quality time with them. So I'd say it's just doing stuff like that.
Sam, you guys are the hunted now, not the hunter. How's that feel coming into a season with high expectations?
Yeah, I mean, you could say that, but, you know, we have the same viewpoint. We're the hunted because other teams are going to view it differently, but it doesn't change how we view it, so I'm not too worried about it.
When you look at this offensive line and having 4 returning stars, does it really feel like the well-oiled machine you expected it to be with all that experience?
The defense, you said?
No, offensive line.
Oh, offense line? Yeah. I mean, just our camaraderie on and off the field. They're probably the tightest group in our entire facility. And then just their communication with me. Sometimes when I get really heated, I tell Ben and that's grilling them, I got to yell at somebody. So I'm gonna yell at you guys, and they take it really well. And you know, they're starting to hold the group really accountable. You know, losing some pieces, some vocal leaders last year like Scat and Leaf, who were just really dominant people. So they've kind of stepped into that role, and overall as an entire unit have taken that on. And you know, now we're starting to see a little bit more camaraderie within the last week and a half or so, which was my challenge. I had a little speech with the team. So I'm really proud of them.
Will you take on more of the responsibility of protections and, you know, recognizing where blitzes are coming from and making adjustments and stuff like that the last scrimmage this year?
Yeah, I mean, I did that last year too, but I'd say I'm just a lot better at it now, getting to the best look possible overall. And, you know, that's along with the quick game stuff was probably the biggest emphasis going into the year. You know, protections beats coverage, so get myself protected, put my guys on the line in the best position to, you know, help me get the ball out and then just get in my playmakers.
You talk about losing vocal leaders like Scat and Leaf. Have you stayed in contact with those guys just as you kind of grow into being more of a vocal leader yourself?
Yeah, you know, I've seen them around the facility, call them a couple times, but, you know, I don't really ask them, you know, questions about leadership. I know what it takes, and, you know, we got a bunch of guys here who do that really well, and, you know, it's really just the comfortability of doing that, going through it day to day, week to week, and just having the guys, you know, it's really about leadership to me is about having the team have your back, because, you know, someone could say, hey, you got to do this, you know, you got to do this and this, that, and the third. But if they don't really respect you, if they don't really have that relationship with you, it's going to come off as demanding. So, you know, you play for your guys and they understand where it's coming from, and that's kind of when you start to really grow.
Sam, what would you say to the team? You don't mind me asking.
I'm going to just keep that to myself.
That's good.
Yeah.
Last one.
Yeah.
I know you said that there's a few illnesses going on right now and a few days until kickoff, but for the most part, it seems like the team's been pretty healthy. How big has that been? Just kind of be able to have so many people that are out there, just being able to practice with.
Yeah, I think we had an injury last fall camp. I can't remember exactly what it was, but, you know, to see the guys be healthy, it's a blessing, you know, and hopefully we can continue that through the year.
Thanks,
Thanks, guys.
Sam.